$35. That's what Nike paid for the logo that now sits on a brand worth over $100 billion. A design student named Carolyn Davidson sketched the swoosh in 1971, got paid enough for a nice dinner, and accidentally created one of the most valuable symbols on Earth. So the real question isn't whether you could design a better logo, it's whether you could ever rebuild what that logo represents. And the answer involves a number so large it changes how you think about brands entirely. Start with what Nike actually is today. Roughly $51 billion in annual revenue, a market valuation that swung between $80 and $115 billion depending on the year, around 79,000 employees worldwide. None of that happened by accident, and none of it is cheap to copy. Here's the part most people get wrong. Nike doesn't own a single factory that makes its shoes. It never really did. The company contracts with roughly 500 manufacturing partners spread across Vietnam, Indonesia, and China. And that arrangement alone represents decades of relationship building, quality control systems, and logistics infrastructure that no amount of venture capital can simply buy overnight. If you tried to replicate that supply chain from scratch today, industry estimates put the cost of building comparable manufacturing partnerships and logistics networks somewhere in the billions before you've sold a single shoe. Then there's the product itself. Nike spends around $1 billion a year on research and development, engineering things like Flyknit fabric and air cushioning that took years of failed prototypes to perfect. Reproducing that technology base from zero, hiring the materials scientists, running the testing labs, filing the patents, would realistically cost several $1 billion and take the better part of a decade. Marketing is where the real money disappears. Nike spends close to $4 billion annually on advertising and sponsorships. That includes contracts with athletes like LeBron James and Cristiano Ronaldo, deals that can run into the hundreds of millions over their lifetime. This is the piece almost nobody can replicate because it's not really about advertising. It's about 6 decades of cultural association. When Michael Jordan wore Nikes in 1984, the company didn't just sign an athlete. It fused itself to a legend. You cannot purchase that kind of history. You can only wait for it and hope it happens to you. Add retail. Nike operates well over 1,000 stores globally alongside a massive direct-to-consumer digital operation it spent years and billions of dollars building after deciding to pull back from traditional retailers. Then stack on corporate infrastructure, distribution centers, technology systems, and a workforce of tens of thousands. And the operational cost of standing up a company at Nike's scale climbs past $20 billion before it even turns a profit. Put every piece together. Manufacturing infrastructure, research and development. 6 decades of marketing and athlete partnerships. Retail and digital distribution, corporate operations. Conservative estimates land the total somewhere between $50 and $80 billion just to build the machine. And that number still doesn't buy you the one thing that actually matters: time, the kind that turns a $35 logo into a symbol people tattoo on their skin.